Let's see if it works. I thought I went live. Knicks family, what is popping? It's been a crazy night. It's been a crazy night. You guys just don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was the Knicks game or if it happened before the Knicks game, but it's been a wild night. You know, I just spoke for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I thought I was speaking to all of you, and I was speaking to nobody because I didn't go live. And let me tell you, it's worse than that. When the game started, it seemed like every time the Knicks had the ball, my television would go blurry. No lie. I don't know. Seriously. Every time the Knicks had the ball, my television was going blurry. Crazy night. Ladies and gentlemen, you seen the basketball game. You know what's going on. You seen what happened with the Knicks tonight. Bad night of basketball. Bad night of basketball tonight. And it all started in the first quarter. You seen it. The first minute of the first quarter, this game was done. 2 fouls on RJ. 1 foul on Nerlens Noel. Technical foul on Tom Thibodeau. And the Knicks never wrapped their head around the game after that first minute. They never wrapped their heads around the game. And I'm going to tell you, like I was saying when I was talking to nobody, like I was saying, I kind of knew the game was done. I kind of felt like it was going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night when Nerlens Noel was looking to the left and Jokic cut behind him. And I was like, what is happening right now? And I kind of knew right there, ladies and gentlemen. Bad night for the New York Knicks. It was a tough one. It was a rough one. You know what I'm saying? It was a rough one. I mean, the Knicks ended the first quarter down 34-12. 34-12. 34-12. And Jokic had 24 points. He doubled up the Knicks score. He had 24 points. 24 points. The Knicks tried to make some runs. Even in the second quarter, the Knicks had a chance. They got it to 19. And I thought, okay, this 19, maybe if it's 3 minutes left, if they get a couple of stops, they can get it to 15 or something like that. Nope. Denver come right back. Scoop, 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 score. Get a couple of cuts to the basket. Backdoor cuts. Wide open threes. In the third quarter, the Knicks threatened. They threatened in the third quarter. They got it down to 16. But we couldn't get the bucket to get over the hump. It was a 16-point lead. And RJ Barrett had an open 3 in the corner. He had knocked down 2 in a row, and he missed it. The Nuggets come back and they score. They knocked down the 3. We just couldn't get over that hump. It's a bad one. It was a bad one, ladies and gentlemen. And Austin Rivers, you know, we talked about it in the game preview, bro. We talked about it in the game preview. Austin Rivers might have something on his mind tonight, and he got hot. He got hot. Bad game for the Knicks, man. But you know what? Listen, when you're in that situation, I'm going to say it again, guys. When you're in that situation, I've been there as a player, and I've been there as a coach. As a player, you want to do something to somebody that'll send you to jail. That's how mad you are. Right? You just want to co-cock somebody. And as a coach, you know, after so long, you trying to coach, you yelling and screaming and this and that. After so long, down 30, you know, you kind of like, it's not much I can do here. Not much that I can do here. You know, I tend to try to keep coaching, you know, because you want to keep teaching. But it's hard. It becomes very hard. You just want to sit down and throw your arms back and let them get their ass kicked. You know, they were getting it kicked anyway. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, bad game for the New York Knicks. Denver Nuggets, they were led by Nikola Jokic. I always say it the wrong way. Nikola Jokic, he had 32 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. If he wanted, I said in the game preview that we'd have to make him score 40 or 50. If he wanted to do that tonight, he could have did it easily. Easily. Just getting anything he wanted on the floor. He could do whatever he wanted. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists tonight for Jokic. Austin Rivers had 25 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals. Campazzo, he had 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. I'm hoping that Luka Vildoza plays like Campazzo. At least the way he played tonight, we could use it. Michael Porter Jr., he had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. And as for the New York Knicks, they were led by Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley had 18 points tonight. I mean, for the most part, though, the Knicks just weren't impressive in any way you think about it. But, we're going down the box score anyway. 18 points for Emmanuel Quickley, 14 points for Derrick Rose. He tried to keep us in the game in that second quarter as much as he could. RJ Barrett had 14 points. Julius Randle had 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Reggie Bullock had 14 points. We can say balanced scoring, but okay. Doesn't matter. They only scored 97 points. Tough one. And then let me tell you, on top of it, this is what makes it worse, ladies and gentlemen. Because the Atlanta Hawks, they smacked the Phoenix Suns 135-103. The Boston Celtics, they smacked the Orlando Magic 132-96. 2 teams that are right on our coattails. So now, the New York Knicks are just a half game above the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, the Knicks are 37-30. The Knicks are 37-29, and the Atlanta Hawks are 37-30. Just a half game above them. 2 games above the Boston Celtics. With tough games coming up, the Knicks have to rebound against Phoenix. They got to throw this one out. The Knicks aren't this bad. They're not. They're not this bad. There's no way. They're not this bad. They got to throw this one out. Focus on Phoenix, man. It's the only thing we can do. Fellas?
They got to throw this out, but this still gives you a really bad taste in your mouth, man. I'm sorry. After we were talking so well about him, it's like,
Well, it does. It does. It gives you a bad taste. But, you kind of got to recognize that a team is going to get smacked every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? A bully's going to come to your block and you're going to get punched in the jaw. And,
we talked about it before that. We talked about it before in the pregame, fundamental basketball, man. That's where it starts. Fundamental basketball. You cannot turn the ball over 50-something plus times. And I'm sorry, you can't get out rebounded 50-something plus times and expect to win the game. You can't turn the ball over 15 times and expect to win the game. You can't go to the candy stripe and these free throws and you missing them. You can't do that and expect to win the game. And that's not even talking about, we're not even going to talk about officiating or anything like that. So it was enough blame for everybody to go around in this game right here. But like you said, we got to throw this one away. We got to put this one in the recycle bin and move on to the next one.
And to your point, G, man, they were just building that lead. It went from 6 to 10 to whatever. And we just could not score a basket to stop the bleeding and everything.
No, we could knock down buckets. I mean, and also when you're trying to fight and get back in the game, you can't get technical fouls. What was it? 4 technical fouls on the Knicks call tonight? You can't get techs. Julie, it's a 19-point game. And you're hoping, there's still time left, and you're hoping maybe you can do something. Julius Randle gets a tech. RJ Barrett gets a tech. You gotta, I know it's hard. You get upset. I know it's hard, and to keep your composure, but you got to. I told you, when you're in that situation, you feel like smacking somebody, but you got to keep your composure. And it's tough. You know what I mean? But they'll rebound. I'm positive of that. They will rebound. They don't like this feeling. No players do.
Yeah. Sim. What's going on, guys?
I know you happy. I know you happy.
What am I happy about?
Because you're saying, see, I told you we need talent. I told you we need all this.
No,
look.
I wasn't. First of all,
look. Hold on. Hey, Kev.
Yeah.
He's coming to this show just about every night, and he always comes in face turned upside down with a frown. When the Knicks are winning, face turned upside down. Now he got a big Chef Zay cheese on his face.
Exactly.
Go ahead, man.
Exactly.
No. I'm not gonna say I'm right because we all know I'm right. But no, I mean, again, right? This is just tonight. Like you said, Sim, it's the NBA. We literally blew out teams. We led a wire against the Grizzlies, and we blew out the Rockets. And we blew out teams before. We don't get blown out a lot. So, again, the Nuggets are just, to me, the Nuggets are just more talented than us. You know, Jokic he cooked us twice. You know, so it happens, man. We'll bounce back. I'm not really worried about it. You know, my goal, one of the goals I wanted for the Knicks to do in this road trip was to go 3-3. We took care of the 2 wins that we should have took care of. And I want to steal one from the Phoenix Suns. So, you know, everybody didn't have it. It happens, like you said. We just got to bounce back. And this team bounces back like we all know they will. And I'm excited, man, because I want to get this win against the Suns.
Yeah.
Kev, smile, Kev. Jeez,
Listen. My bottom for this trip was to go 3-3. We got 2 of them. I wanted to get the third one out of the way so bad. I was like, let's get the third one out the way. Let's not play around. You know what I mean? But listen, games like that happen. You got to learn from it and move forward. They know they're not that bad. They know they're not that bad.
And Sim, to be honest with you, man, Randall has to relax. Because I remember we talked about it a while ago where Randall, you know, every time something doesn't go his way, he just, you know, sometimes he stops running and just looks at the ref. And, you know, it was bound to happen. He was going to get these technical calls, man. So, you know, I get tonight was frustrating.
Guys, man. That's what a lot of these guys.
Huh?
That's what a lot of these
one at a time.
Oh, yeah, no, but it is for me with Randall, he just knows, listen, you know, right now the Knicks just don't get the respect that they deserve, and he's not going to get all the calls yet. He's not going to get the superstar calls yet. So, and I think, especially tonight, right, it was a little frustrating because the refs, again, there's nothing to blame the refs because the Knicks didn't execute. But the refs, I think, were just blowing the whistle towards the Knicks a lot because you've seen it even in the foul distribution. Like I think the Nuggets had almost 30 foul shots versus the Knicks only having 15. So again, they wouldn't let the Knicks play the physical game that they usually play, and then they let Joker get away with a lot of stuff. But again, you still can't get frustrated and give up free points when you're already down 25, 30, 22. You know, that's not going to help us. So, you know, I just want Randall to get better with that.
Joker need Nerlens Noel and the balls, and Nerlens Noel gets called for the foul.
Yeah, why the way you say that's so funny? You sound like my dude from House Party. What's that dude from House? Yeah, I'm gonna kick him in the eye. You sound like that dude. Oh, listen, man. It happens, man. It's gonna be games where, we can have the same exact play. The Knicks get the foul. The Knicks don't get a call, but on the other end, they get a call. So we're away right now, man. And it happens, bro. Trust me, there's been times when Randall got away with a couple travels, a couple double dribbles, a couple push-offs, but they ain't call it. No, it happens, bro.
I mean, listen. I am going to say it was, you know, even from the beginning, it was, you know, they were calling some ticky-tack calls, you know, and it was a little frustrating. But, you know, as a player, you got to realize, you know, where you are in this point in this season and what you're trying to accomplish and know that you got to keep your head. But that's also a learning process for this team because they've never been here. You know what I mean? So it's a learning process for them. Tony, what you think, man?
Shout out to the chat. What's good, Sin? Yo, Black is time. This game was Murphy's Law in the first quarter. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. 3 fouls in the first 30 seconds, under 30 seconds. Then Tibbs gets a technical that early. At that point right there, you already gave the refs a reason to hold their whistle a little bit, to not give you the benefit of a call, in the near future. And from right there, things were bad. I pointed out, I think yesterday, I think Tibbs has been putting a little bit too much pressure on RJ on the defensive end in his assignment. I did not like him against Gordon. I didn't like him against Marketing. I don't know what, for some reason he seems to be playing him against these bigs. That I think that in stretches, yeah, that's cool, but I don't think he's there yet defensively. I would have much preferred him guard Porter. I think that's a better matchup. I think he has a strength advantage. So I say that to say even Murphy's Law, even Tibbs, I think made some unusual, questionable mistakes during this particular first quarter for sure. We fought the rest of the game. I can't even be mad. We won the rest of the game. That first quarter really just was too much. Defensive lapses. We've seen consecutive parting of the defense and open lane to the basket. That's not us. I also would have liked Taj to maybe start this game. One, because Noel was fresh back. So maybe coming off the bench this game and slowly getting reacclimated. I think that was a tougher assignment for him than Taj in particular. Because Taj definitely is not using any athleticism. He's not falling for any head fake. He may just get shot over. He may have gotten in foul trouble too, but I just think it would have been a better matchup. But yeah, that first quarter, Murphy's Law, everything that could go wrong went wrong. And I think we'll bounce back.
Yeah.
I wish we played them one more time, honestly. Like
that's the only team that swept us. That's the only team that the Western Conference team that swept us.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we still got 3 more to go, but yeah.
Okay.
We still got 4 more Western Conference teams to go. So let's try not to get swept by those 4 teams. It's going to be tough. Well, I'm sorry. We beat the Lakers. We got to play Phoenix. We got to play the Clippers, and we got to play San Antonio, right? So we've lost to all 3 of those teams: the Clippers, the Suns, and San Antonio.
And Sim, I want to say one thing before we head up. Two things. Two, it bothered me because I do agree with you, Tony, that it's frustrating when RJ has to guard these guys, even though we got a 6'10" dude on the bench. But that's another story. And one thing I really didn't like with Tibbs tonight was that when the Knicks were getting blown out in the fourth quarter, he still had some of the starters in. I wasn't cool with that. I get it to a certain point that you want to teach him a lesson, but I thought he should have took the guys out a little earlier.
Well, I don't even think it was teaching him a lesson. I mean, you're down 19 and there's 6 minutes left. As a coach, you're thinking, if we can get this to 15 or 14,
12.
we're in it. Maybe something can happen. You get down to about 4 minutes and all right, it's not happening. You start making some substitutions because, it's at a point now early in the season, 6 minutes left, you're down 20. You might say, you know what, I'm going to let these guys in. But I think at this point, you're still trying to pull something out, and hoping that maybe, you hit 2 threes in a row and the game is a 14-point game. You know what I mean? It happens like that. Was it going to happen tonight? No, it wasn't going to happen tonight. About the thing with RJ, I think, Isaiah, you said, you got a 6'10" guy on the bench. I think the issue there is, see, Denver, they're a smart team, right? They got a good coaching staff. So they started Paul Millsap. right? So now you had Julius Randle is going to guard Paul Millsap, right? Noel is going to guard Jokic. So now that leaves Bullock, RJ, and Peyton. And then they had Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Campazzo. So RJ was going to guard either one of those guys. Michael Porter Jr. is 6'10", Aaron Gordon is 6'8", 6'9". He was going to guard one of those two, regardless of who you had on the bench. That's the, that was who they said, okay, we're going to create a mismatch. That's why they put Paul Millsap in that starting lineup, because he didn't even play against the Lakers. They put him in there to create that type of a mismatch. Go ahead, Tone.
Right.
One, you're absolutely right, and that was 100% great coaching. Like I like that guy.
Malone.
Malone.
Yeah.
He was a part of the Knicks before, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I love that guy, man. He's a very underrated coach. I put him in that same class as Tibbs, 100%. And you're right, but I definitely feel like if you were going to put someone at a disadvantage, you put Bullock at the disadvantage because he's a defender. That's his strength. Right. You know what I mean? If you're looking at the matchups, I agree. It put Randall in a position where he got to go after. He got to guard Millsap just because of the girth and the strength, similar build. Like that's a wash. But as far as like Gordon and Porter, I'd rather RJ. Even if you think, all right, he has the height advantage, I think RJ has the strength advantage. His strength is shooting, but you just got to tell RJ, focus in on not giving him the space. If he rises and scores over you, you live with that. But I like Bullock as a known defender dealing with his mismatch. You know what I mean? Like you see him on LeBron, you see him on guys that are stronger than him physically, and he does a good enough job. But I agree with everything you're saying. That's where I would have made that adjustment. And me personally, coming off my comments the other night with the marketing and such, it just stuck out like a sore thumb. And then obviously him getting back-to-back fouls, it compounded in my brain.
Right, and then Gordon just outsmarted him because immediately Gordon went straight under the basket. He went right under the basket and posted up. You know what I'm saying? Right in the restricted circle and posted up, called a foul. And then he went right back to the same spot. He went right back to the same spot, called the exact same foul. That's smart. That's just a smart player. And it makes Coach Malone look like, hey, like you made the coaching change and it worked already. Already worked.
Yep.
Go ahead, Kev.
Off the jump.
Yo, you know what? I've been listening to everybody. Let's just eliminate the elephant in the room, all right? Elfrid Payton lost his game for us, all right?
No,
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't me this time. It wasn't me.
Yeah, okay. That's what happened.
He lost his game in the first quarter. He lost his game in the first quarter.
The Knicks lost the game in the first quarter. He didn't play well, but we didn't play well.
We didn't play well.
Period.
He didn't make it easy.
Period.
Bro,
he didn't make it easy for us either.
Nobody did.
Kev. Let's not look for somebody to blame, bro. Blame the entire. Come on, man. That's just ridiculous.
I'm blaming him.
Well, go ahead. You blame him.
Three fouls. So you 2 away from the penalty and a technical foul in 28 seconds. The game was lost right there.
How many points was that?
And that had nothing to do with Peyton.
Nothing.
The game was lost right there.
Kev, stand your ground, Kev.
Come on,
stand
Kev.
Your ground,
He
Kev.
has no ground to stand on. It's just, hey, he put Frank in the game. How come we didn't win? How come Frank didn't engineer a comeback? Why Frank come in and shoot an air ball?
Sam, this is what happened right here, right? I told you once before, you cannot not allow them little cute fur things that we call gremlins on the show after midnight. Because once you add water to them, they turn into Gizmo.
Right.
Right there. There's Gizmo right there.
Nah, you can't blame this on anybody, man.
Tim was talking about you want to punch somebody. I got my round trip ticket to Tampa, right? I'm gonna be down. You know what I'm saying?
Look, you can't blame this on anybody, man. It was just a terrible game all the way around, bro.
Okay, all right. So Sim, let me ask.
There you go, Cam. There you go.
Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Why is it that soon as he puts Rose in, he doesn't go back to him at all? He doesn't go back to Peyton at all in the first half. He comes in the second half.
Bro, that has nothing to do with the Knicks being blown out tonight. It didn't matter who was in the game. They still got their ass kicked.
Those turnovers that was happening for us, he was one of the main cogs.
Kev.
After that was Randall.
Hey, Kev.
You gotta put it to bed, bro.
If Rose started, you may have an argument that we would have maybe started the game off better. But the entire team did not play well in that first quarter. The entire team. Yep. Randall didn't. I mean, RJ was 0 in the first half.
Yeah.
I also saw him open a few times.
There you go,
Kev. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Kev. You can say what you want. You can try to place blame. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Knicks fans do. Anytime the team loses, they want to blame somebody.
Emotion too freaking much.
The Knicks were losing this game. I don't care if Clyde Frazier was at his prime playing in this game, they were getting their ass bust tonight. They were losing. You could have started Rose. They still was gonna lose.
We might have won with Clyde though back in the prime.
Bro, the Knicks were losing this game. Did you see? Everything. Listen, you're gonna tell me Elfrid Payton made Nerlens? Did Elfrid Payton go up to Nerlens Noel and say, "Look to the left so that Joker can cut behind you"? Did he do that? Did he tell the guards at the top of the? Did he tell the guards at the defense at the top of the key?
But I bet Rose would have told him. Rose would have told him.
You didn't even hear what I said. See, you didn't even hear what I said. So
what did you say? What did you say?
See,
what did you say?
You see what I'm talking about? I said, did Elfrid Payton tell Nerlens Noel to look the other way to allow Joker to cut behind him? And then you told me that Rose would have told him. That kills everything that you're trying to say.
Hey, Sim, can I say one thing before you?
No. Hold up. As Knicks fans, we gotta come off the ledge. Right? We've been on a winning streak. We've been playing well. You're going to get your grill bust every once in a while. The key now is let's see how they respond. Now, if they put together 2 or 3 of these losses.
That's all I'm saying. It was the wrong time for it to happen. That's all.
Listen, if you put together. If you put together 2 or 3 of these losses, I'm going to have to put them on mute. If you put together 2 or 3 of these losses, right? That's when you start to be like, okay, what's happening? What's happening? What's going on? But you
so
take
you chalking this up for a bad night.
Was it not a bad night?
But Kev, hold on. But Kev,
yes.
I'm just asking. You just want to chalk it up to a bad night?
Yes.
That's all I'm asking.
Yes. Until it's a trend.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Move on. All right. Move on.
Until it is a trend.
But Kev,
yes.
But Kev, this is the NBA. This is sports in general. I don't care what sport you play. Listen, the Knicks have literally won out of our last 12 games. We were 14. We won 12 out of 14 games. I mean, listen, we blown some of these jokers out, and we led wire to wire a lot of these games. This is a 6-game road trip. I'm sorry, I don't care.
You negativity anyway. I'll listen to G-Man.
I'm not. Oh my god. Oh my god. But no, though. But for real, it's just about. Listen, Kev. It's a 6-game road trip against 6 great Western Conference teams. Listen, we won 2. I'm hoping we go 3-3, but it's just the NBA, bro. Everybody gets blown out. Literally, the Lakers are losing right now, and they had LeBron and Anthony Davis, and they was losing. So it's okay. We'll be fine.
Yeah, let me jump in here. Let me just remind you, you gotta wait till someone else is finished to start talking because, like Kev, you don't have any headphones or anything on, so it creates feedback because you're going through just the speaker in the phone. It creates a lot of feedback. All right. So you got to wait until somebody else is finished to start talking. And I do want to say, B-ball for real. listen, nobody is doing anything for Peyton. The problem is when you blame a 30-point blowout, I know it ended up being 16, but when you blame a 30-point blowout on one person, that's just preposterous. Whatever. I can't even say the word. I'm so tired. That's just crazy.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
Sam,
You can't do that.
And Sim, before Tony go, I just want to say this is the thing that makes me mad the most, Sim. This thing that made me mad the most. That we got 234 people and we got 43 likes. And we got one dislike. You hating? Listen, I ain't gonna say nothing else. I ain't gonna cuss on here because we got kids watching. But can we please get that likes up from my big brother? We only got 43 likes and we got 234 people. I know you guys are not that grimy. Come on now, get them likes up.
Hit the like button, G-Man.
I mean, you know, it just bothers me when people do that kind of stuff, man. The whole team was terrible.
Hey, Sim, it wasn't me tonight, Sim.
It wasn't. You wasn't. The whole team was terrible. You know what I mean? I mean, look. If you want to look at the first quarter, Reggie Bullock had 1 rebound. Julius Randle, 1 rebound. Nerlens Noel, 1 rebound. Alec Burks, 1 rebound. Obi Toppin had 4. Elfrid Payton had more than Julius Randle. He had more rebounds than Nerlens Noel. He had 2 rebounds. He was one of 2 players to have an assist. They were just terrible. They were just terrible. That's it.
Sam, one thing I definitely want to address, and I think this is important, right? We as Knicks fans are on the highest of highs when we're winning. Everything is great. The flowers smell good. The food tastes better. The water's a little bit clearer, and everybody's happy, right? But as soon as we have a game like this tonight, I guarantee you this is going to happen. You're going to have people come out of the closet and talk about, let's get rid of everybody on the team except for Julius Randle. And you know, this person's trash and that person's trash. I'm telling you, these are to Isaiah's point, these are the same players, same coaching staff that has won 12 out of 14 games. Think about that for a minute. And just because, think about how many times you go to work and you have a bad day. Should you just up and quit your job because you had a bad day? We don't do that. Let's be realistic, people. Let's be realistic. I mean, that's all I got to say. I just want people to be realistic. You know
and G-Man, to be honest, and G-Man, just to tell you, I've seen it today. I've seen people talk about R.J. Barrett. Oh, he's a third option or he's a fourth option. What is he doing? And then Julius Randle. See, this is why we can't pay Julius Randle $30 million. That's why we can't give him. I'm like, bro, it's it's one game.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to really getting into some analysis here. Let me do a couple of shout outs first. Bob Telflar, he said shout out to you for the super chat. He said the refs really cheated us. He said you can't touch Jokic. Chetnik, he said thank you for the super chat. He said the Nuggets have a league MVP and he showed it. Just a bad start, a really bad start. Afro Jedi laughed at Kev. He said, Kev with the EP slander. And then Dan Alcanet, he said, I won't say that the rest cost us the game, but when we were making our run back, it gave the ball to Denver on a missed call. It changed the momentum. That did happen twice. I will say that. That definitely happened twice where, there were a couple of calls that should have went the Knicks' way, went Denver's way. And Justin Hernandez, he said, these type of games happen. Not going to look into it. It's been a great year. People enjoy the ride. Go Knicks. Yeah, I agree. I think you got to chop this one up. Let's see if it becomes a trend first. Now, that doesn't mean that Tom Thibodeau isn't going to address certain things in the locker room. Of course he is. Right? He's going to address that rebounding issue. He's going to address the Knicks turning the ball over, especially in the first half. Well, I got to look and see how many turnovers they had in the first half. But he's going to address the turnovers, right? Because we had a lot of turnovers. 15 turnovers we had. He's going to address that situation because Denver scored off of those turnovers. He's going to address all of the defensive mishaps that we had in this game. You better believe that. You know what I mean? And then after he addresses it, he's going to say, all right, Now let's throw this one on the rug and let's go get the next one. Because that's what it's all about now, in my opinion. How do we rebound? How do we respond? You know what I mean? That's going to be the key right there. And Kev, I'm about to get to you. I just want to show one thing before I get to you, and then I'm coming straight to you, all right? Earlier today, we did a game preview.
Mm-hmm.
And here are some of the things that we talked about in the game preview. And you know what? The Knicks didn't do a lot of these things. The first thing with exclamation points, no defensive lapses.
That happened.
that happened a lot. No defensive lapses. The Nuggets came into this game in the last 10 games, in the top 10 in points, field goal percentage, and assists. Said we couldn't have any defensive lapses. We said we had to take care of the basketball. Right? Because in the last 10 games, they were top 10 in points off turnovers, and they were 6th in the league in creating turnovers. And they were creating a lot of turnovers, man. Julius Randle had 5.
The pesky guard they had. That pesky guard.
Yeah. And they scored off of those turnovers. We didn't take care of the ball. We needed to have team defense, strong rotations and closeouts. How many times did we see these guys be wide open from the three-point line tonight? A lot.
Way too.
We needed to play efficiently on the offensive side. We did not, especially in the first quarter. Then we had to rise to the challenge. And, you know, that first minute seemed to really take a lot of air out of the team, you know, as far as them rising to the challenge. It kind of took it all away, you know. So they did nothing that was on that list. Nothing.
0 for 5.
0 for 5. 0 for 5. Maybe they did some things in spurts, little spurts here and there, but, you know, they didn't sustain any of that on the list. So now, how do we go into Phoenix? That's the question. Tony, I'm going to start with you. You know, we got to throw this one out the window. But, you know, the stink is going to be there. The you know, being upset is going to be there. How do we go into Phoenix? How do we shake it off?
Hey, Sam, before you, real quick, Chunk, let me ask Sam a question.
Yeah, I was supposed to come to you, Kev. My fault.
Really, no, it's okay. It's okay. Is Jokic really an elite player?
He is.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
He's an elite player.
As advertised.
He's an elite player, and it may not be that he is, you know, this super athlete and fast and can jump over everybody. You know, he has a lot of this up here, and he knows how to use his body to get where he wants, and then he sees the floor really well. He can anticipate what people are going to cut. He can anticipate what defensive players are going to do, where people are going to move and where they're going to rotate, and he finds the right people. You know,
think really about this, Kev. I'm sorry.
Now, go ahead, Tone.
But think of the two, just to answer Kev real quick, think about the two best European players right now, right? Probably Luka and Joker.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
Neither one of those guys are super athletes, super athletic. They're fundamentally sound and have high basketball IQ. So, I mean, it's kind of what European basketball players have relied on throughout their, you know, time in the NBA, and those two are just elite at it. So it's shining more than, you know, it's shining more than ever. Just to answer your question, they're like, or to take it a step further, think of Chris Paul at 6'8" or almost 7 foot. Fundamentally sound, basketball IQ, and that's literally what's carried him throughout his career. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of, I hate to say it, it's kind of rare with American players.
Tone, you think he'll win a championship before he retires?
I mean, either one of them could. It's not,
Yeah,
but it's about I mean, it's about the team more than anything else. Like they can't do it by themselves, no matter how smart they are. And LeBron is the rare combination of that with extreme athleticism,
Exactly.
extreme talent.
exactly.
Oh, what was your question, Sam? I'm sorry.
So how do we go in and how do we address this Phoenix game?
So here's the good news, right? We're coming off this terrible performance. Something that we've seen even recently. We've seen throughout the year when our top two guys don't necessarily perform at their best. Chances are we're not winning that game. That's what happened tonight. That's also what happened the last time we played Phoenix. So now we got a chip on both shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
They Phoenix stopped our losing streak. We just lost bad. More good news is we do usually bounce back from a bad loss. And I expect the same thing. I expect our very best game, our A game. Not saying our best game of the year, but I expect our A game.
Yeah.
And true testament to who we are, our character. It's not end all be all, but I expect us to go head to head, go toe to toe. It's not going to be a blowout. Maybe a measuring stick game. We may edge it, we may lose it by edge, or things may just we may be better than we think we are, and make a statement. But I think either way it'll be a good performance.
Yeah, and you know what? And maybe the Knicks needed to get smacked like this, just to let them know, like, hey, this can happen at any time. You can't relax. You can't feel good about yourself. You can't get fooled into thinking that no matter what happens in the game, you can pull it out. Because look, against Memphis, they came out down. I don't know what was it, 7-2 or something like that, and then Tom Thibodeau called a timeout. And they came right back, bam, and put the heat on them. You know what I'm saying? They never turned back. It didn't happen that way tonight because you're playing a much better team. But when you do that against teams and, like even during the 9-game win streak, there were games that they should have lost where they came back and won. You know what I'm saying? And pulled something out. And that happens. That happens when you're on a roll and everything is clicking. You know what I'm saying? That happens. But that also can be negative reinforcement for your team. You know what I'm saying? Where you're reinforcing some negative habits and you start to think no matter what happens, we're going to win. You know what I'm saying? Until you come up with someone who says, no, you're not going to win now. You know what I mean? And you got to kind of recalibrate and say, okay, let's get back to it. Maybe this is that game. It's all about how we respond. We'll see how we come out against Phoenix. You know what I mean? Even if it's not in a win, their approach is what's important. You know what I mean? Their approach is just, yeah.
Yeah. And Sim, I think to me, right, I think I do want that Sim game because I do believe we can win it because there were a lot of circumstances that caused us to lose. RJ and Randall didn't have a good game. And if you think about it, even if they have the average game, we might actually pull that game out. So I wanted this game circled for the Knicks because, they ended the streak. And I'd be a little pissed off about that. So I want them to come out. But also, too, man, again, losses like this, man, I always, again, this is not me trying to say I'm right, but this also is just about the talent, the talent of the team. Yeah. And Kevin always does this.
I mean,
no, but it's also about this I'm just saying this is where we want to go. We want to be a Denver. We want to be a Lakers. We want to be a Bucks. It's just right now, we know this is the first year that we just don't, to me, have the talent level to be there. But we do eventually have that It just, we just, sometimes these games just make us realize certain things.
Well,
That's
and sometimes, sometimes
I
it's
don't know
about.
why. Y'all always laughing. I'm just saying.
No. But sometimes it's about if Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett hit a couple of shots in that first quarter, open shots, clear shots that we had, the game could have looked very different because it was all about that first quarter, right? If they hit a couple of shots, because when you look at that first quarter for the Knicks, and it's not like these shots weren't there for the team. Randall was 0 for 4, shots that he normally makes. RJ only took one shot because he was out. Reggie Bullock was 1 for 3. These were shots that we shot 16.7%. We both teams shot 24 times in the first quarter. Right? They made 12. We made 4. And it's not like they were shots that were like, oh my gosh, it was so hard to get the shot up. These were shots that we normally have and normally make. Do
you think the altitude? You think the altitude had something to do with it as well?
They play there every year. They know what to expect.
Yes.
Most of them do. Right? Julius Randle's been there. R.J. Barrett, Elfrid Payton, Derrick Rose. They all been there. They know what to expect.
Did RJ play them last year?
No, not there. Not there. We didn't play them the second time. We got beat at home by them.
Maybe that's why he had to adjust in the second half.
Yeah. And when you look at it, right? Look at the second quarter. Obviously, listen, good teams have moments. Sometimes those moments come in the first quarter, second, third, whenever, where they go on a run. I just feel like the Knicks could never get they could never get a footing on the game. Second quarter, the Knicks win it 31-30.
Yeah, the reason why I ask is because G-Man thinks he's so, correct on everything because he was the one that talked about the altitude. So yeah, don't wave your hands. That's what you said.
So listen, number one, little guy, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this right here, right? So you cannot prove nor disprove that the altitude does not have an effect on these guys going into the game. That's number one, right? So if you watch the game and you watch the way these guys were doubled over when they're coming up and down the floor, case in point, Randall went for a layup, right? Got fouled. He was laying on his back. He literally told his players, "Let me lay here for a minute. I'm tired." That's what he said. So I don't know what their conditioning was, but I can tell you right now something. It may have been the altitude. It may have been the water. They may have had some bad tuna fish. I don't know what it is, but it's clear that whatever happened during this game, the New York Knicks were not the Knicks that we're used to looking at. That's a fact.
They might have went to the weed shop when they first got into town. Who knows? They might have. You know what I mean?
It's legal out there, man.
And
you know what I'm
saying?
Right, the NBA not testing, so they might have went to. They said, "Yo, we only here once a year. Let's get it." You know what I mean?
Hey, Sim, I'm gonna tell you right now. On that team, let me tell you who won the Tony Crow Award. It looked like Derrick Rose, Julius Randle. I ain't gonna lie, it ain't nothing you can tell me Derrick Rose is not in the Tony Crow fan club.
First of all,
I don't know about
Randle might.
It's good for your recovery.
It is. It's healthy.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I don't think RJ do it, but I'm convinced Derrick Rose does it. I'm convinced.
Come on, Derrick Rose. Come on, man. Anyway, let me get back to this. Listen, in the second quarter, 31-30. We outscored them 31-30. You know what I mean? In the third quarter, we outscored them 26-25. Right? The fourth quarter, you can count it. It really doesn't count, kind of. We outscored them 28-24. But when you look at those two quarters, when the game was, I don't want to say in the balance, but, we were really trying to fight and make a comeback. And their guys was playing, our guys were playing. It was that first quarter. That first quarter really did us in,
It was always cool. It was always cool.
But you know, Isaiah, you know, we're a bunch of divas over here on NBK, so you know, we can't talk about weed and stuff like that for too long, because you know, some people think we divas over here.
You a funny dude, yo. Sim. You a funny dude, yo.
Ian Clark, thank you for the super chat. You said you guys think we was going to win every game. Said you sound like ESP.
That's Captain.
Do you mean ESPN? Do you mean ESPN, Ian?
I thought we could run the table.
Hold on. Let me finish. He said, you sound like ESPN. Stop the blood clot crying. I'm not crying, bro. We just talking about the game. I ain't crying. I didn't expect to win every game. I just wanted to win this one because I wanted to get those 3 out the way. You know, so to make sure we go 3-3 on the trip, now we got to go get another one. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. Tough loss tonight. We're going to rebound against Phoenix. G-Man, how do we rebound against Phoenix?
I'm going to agree with Tone, right? I think we just need to take this game right here, take it for what it was. We came in, we didn't execute the way we were supposed to. Basic things we didn't do for whatever reason. We lost this game as a team. The same way we win as a team, we lost this game as a team. So, you know, we just got to go back and get back to what we normally do and what had us winning those 12 out of 14 games. We know how to win basketball games. We've proven that. It's no secret sauce or no secret ingredient to say if we do this, then we guarantee to win a game. We got to get back to playing fundamental basketball. These guys need to get back to playing for one another the way that they normally do. And I think everything else will take care of itself, honestly. We just gotten to the point, like you said, that first 28 to 30 seconds, from 3 fouls, about 2 on RJ, 1 on Noel, and then the coach getting the technical. That sets a bad precedence at the beginning of the game. And that puts you in a bad mindset going in, right? You erase that and you make a couple good shots. Like you said, that could have changed the complexity of the game, and we could have had a chance. But shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But this game against Phoenix, we just got to get back to what New York Knicks basketball is all about, period.
Yeah, we definitely got to get back on that defense thing because their offense, you know, they got a strong offense as well. We know, we just seen it. And, you know, you got Devin Booker that went to town on us in the first game, at least the first half of the first game. And then Chris Paul stepped up and did his thing in the fourth quarter. Then throughout the game, Mikal Bridges was hot. You know, they got some guys. They got a lot of guys that can score the basketball. We're gonna have to be on point defensively. You know, closing out, rotating, not having those defensive lapses. We can't have those defensive lapses. I do think though that the matchup is better against Phoenix than it is against Denver, right? Because
absolutely.
Like with Denver, Jokic, you see Jokic bringing the ball up. You see Jokic pulling Nerlens Noel out the paint, right? When Jokic is bringing the ball up, that opens up that lane for guys to cut. You know what I'm saying? Go back door. Because he's a big body that's not there. Nerlens Noel is a long body that's not there. And there's room for guys to just get beat back door and cut to the basket and things like that. So I think it's a better matchup against Phoenix than versus Denver. You know, because with Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton's not doing that. He's going to be posted up right in the paint, and he's not, you know, he's bigger than Nerlens Noel, but he's not as skilled as Jokic down there. He doesn't have the same type of moves that Jokic has. Right? You know what I'm saying? You know, so our guards can match up better. That doesn't mean I'm saying we can defend them or shut them down. I'm just saying we match up better against their guards, size-wise. You know, this was just a funky matchup like we were talking about. They put Paul Millsap in the starting lineup. Now you forced RJ and Reggie Bullock to have to guard guys that are 6'10 and 6'8. What do you do? I'm saying, what do you do? How do you do that? You know what I mean? Phoenix doesn't have that type of that type of personnel. So I do think the matchup is a little bit better. Yeah. So
I do agree with you that I think we do match up better with Suns. Like they don't have any big meaty centers. Like we're kind of the same because we both got like skinny frame guys on both sides. Just like them, like there's not really no beefy dudes on either side for the Knicks or Sun. So, that could be good. One thing we got to definitely do that I seen last game was that, man, when Devin Booker got really comfortable really early on, he got to his spots, he got to his elbow jumper spots, really easy, and got comfortable early to hit those shots. We got to make sure that we disrupt that so that he doesn't get comfortable on his own. We got to watch out for that. Again, play the passing lanes like G-Man. Kev, relax, Kev. Hold on, we almost done. Don't worry, you good. Like G-Man said, we got to go back to playing fundamental defense. We got to do what Knicks basketball we done. Again, I think that had to do a little bit with the refs because they were being ticky-tacky, so we couldn't play our physical game. But Elfrid Payton and D Rose got to step on Chris Paul because we got to make sure that we contain him as much as possible because that 18-7 is a deadly 18-7, especially coming from Chris Paul. And those last 8 to 10 points could come in the fourth quarter. So we got to do a good job on Chris Paul. Watch out for Mikal Bridges. And make sure that we contain DeAndre Ayton again like we did last week. He didn't really have a big game, so let's not have him have a big game now. So we can pull this game off, man, and especially if RJ and Randall set the tone and everything, get some early good shots, and get Devin Booker in some foul trouble, man. I don't care. He's still not a good defender. I would like to see RJ post him up a little bit, use his strength because I think he's stronger than Devin Booker. Use his strength against Devin Booker, make him work a lot. And I think we can pull it off.
Yeah, I remember Chris Paul. He didn't really play well through 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden he got hot in the fourth quarter. The Knicks built a nice 15, 18, whatever it was, point cushion, and then Phoenix slowly chipped away. I do think I want to look at a couple guys in the chat said something that I agree with fully. You got EOS. He said Facundo out-rebounded everybody on the Knicks team. He had 7 rebounds, right? Facundo Campazzo had 7 rebounds. 9 rebounds. He had 9 rebounds, right? The highest for the Knicks was Julius Randle with 8. Scrappy guard, 5'10" scrappy guard with 9 rebounds.
That's embarrassing.
I thought we left the scrappy guard and T.J. McConnell back in Indiana. This guy was crazy.
He was hooping, man.
And all those rebounds was off of 3-pointers right around the free throw line.
Yep.
It's not like those are guards got to get those, fundamental stuff again. We know that.
Exactly. and then Rebuild NYK, he said, fix the rebound problems. Finish the defense with a rebound. Yes, we've got to do that against Phoenix. We got to finish the defense with a rebound. We can't mess around and let guys. It's like sometimes we get into games, and this has been an issue all season. We get into games, and there are people who are just more active than we are. Just more active. Not that they're better rebounders, just more active. Right, they're on their toes, jumping, boom, and moving. Where we kind of stand and waiting for that ball to come to us sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah. Big shout out to Ian Clark. Thank you for the hippos. I don't know if you're saying that looks like Kev or what, but I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat, whatever it is. Let me listen to let's listen into Tom Thibodeau real quick. Really interested to hear what he has to say about this game.
Hey, Tom. Just where was the defense on Jokic in that first quarter? Because it seemed after the first quarter, maybe it was a little better.
The first quarter, we got into a big hole. Then the defense got going a little bit, but rebounding was poor all night. But I thought offensively we found some rhythm in the second, third, and fourth, but it was a challenging game.
Steve Popper.
Hey Tom, when RJ gets the 2 fouls, I think 21 seconds in, and there's a third foul on that first possession, did it seem like from there, just at the very start, that guys, some frustration starts kicking in almost immediately?
Yeah, well, and we can't allow it on the road, but we got probably some tough calls go against us. And then at the end, we got some calls, but the game was already decided. So but that's the way it is on the road. You got to play through that, and just get ready for the next one.
Steve Popper.
Hey, Tom, you guys are down 24 in the third, and Taj dives headlong to save a ball. Just, I guess, is there something you like seeing about him in that kind of spot when you guys need a leader?
Yeah, look, we always say we either win or we learn. And so I think we learned a lot, but there's a lot of fight in this team. So I think they ended up shooting 37, 38%, but the rebounding was a problem. And then, of course, the free throws. And so I want to take a look at the film. It was a physical game, and, it was tough. It went against us.
Mark Berman.
I mean, just the physicality of Jokic, tonight, especially in that first quarter. I mean, was it just tough to match up, in any defensive way against that type of bulk?
Well, he's having a terrific season for him. He's a very talented player. So you're not guarding him individually. You have to guard him with your team. And so, you tip your hat and try to make him work as much as you can. He's a great player, and there were a lot of things that we could have done a little bit better, and we'll have to find a way.
Mike Workenoff.
Tom, in trying to stop Jokic, do you try to decide there whether to let him just kind of be a scorer and take away the playmaking, or do you try to decide, try to make him a playmaker?
Well, that's sort of like what you have to decide, because it's, he could beat you scoring, he could beat you with the pass, and you try not to make it where it's both, and so, but he's very unique in the sense that he handles the ball a lot, and he's got great vision. He's going to make you pay for mistakes, and that's where your ball pressure has to be great, your weak side awareness has to be great, and your body position has to be great. And so, he uses his body really well, and he can do it a lot of different ways. He can do it in the post. He could do it facing the basket. He could do it shooting the three. So puts a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah. He said it right there. You got to figure out. You got to make that decision. Which way do we try to beat him? Let him pass the ball, make him a scorer. And a good player like him, he'll say, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it, and I'm going to do it efficiently, and I'm still going to beat you. That's what he said tonight. Whatever it is you want me to do, just let me know, and I'm going to do it. So, we'll see. Listen, Tom Thibodeau just said a bunch of stuff we already said. Hopefully he's pounding it into the team. You know what I mean? And we'll see what happens on Friday night. I'm pretty sure the Knicks are going to be ready Friday night. They're going to be ready. Looking forward to it, man.
I'm interested to hear Austin Rivers' post-game comment, and if they asked him if he thought he was playing Utah, or
right.
That was like the knife to dig it in right there.
Exactly. It was though.
Yeah, so you know what's funny though? We was on Guillermo's show, and we were saying that this dude got a revenge games for like half the league. He's been traded to half the team, so he got a revenge games for like half for everybody. Dude been traded. Listen, man, Austin Rivers played a good game today, but
as soon as he gets traded for as soon as he's played for every team in the league, he'll be a superstar. There you go. He'll be a superstar.
Collecting in the jungle like Infinity Stone.
Yeah. Hey, but anyway, look, I'm gonna head out, man. I'm gonna head up out of here. It's almost 1 a.m. I appreciate everybody who's on with us. Still talking Knicks. A bunch of divas over here talking Knicks, whatnot.
Sam,
let's get some last words. Get some last words in here. G-Man, you got some last words you want to throw out there?
Hey, just, once again, this one game, ladies and gentlemen, take it for what it is. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Focus on the positives. We will bounce back. We will get back to playing Knicks basketball. I have no doubt in my mind about that. And we just got to trust in our team. We've had trust in this team this far. Don't let your face slip right now. Just keep trusting in the team, and we're gonna be all right.
There you go, Tony.
Shout out to the chat. Your Black is time. Then keep doing your thing. I just want to let you guys know I got a Knicks and Bruises out today. It was a great episode with Leo Valentin. Check that out.
Yes, it's good. It's real good. It's funny. It's real good. You guys need to go check that out. And just someone in the chat asked why was Julius Randle and Austin Rivers having a little whatever. I don't know. That was interesting. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, they did have a little something going on. You know, but it was Austin Rivers that jumped. It was Austin Rivers that jumped into Randle. You know, jumped up to Randle. You know, I don't know. He don't want
That's
that.
What it was.
Now Austin Rivers, he definitely don't want that. But you know, I guess just talking whatever.
He threw a ball at LeBron, and LeBron turned around. He got scared real quick last year. You know what he's scared about no Austin Rivers.
All right. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Ain't nobody scared about no Austin Rivers. Yeah, I guess I ended, man. Listen, we didn't bully Kev off the show. He was crying. He probably crying right now. Listen, man, like G-Man said, it's one game. Listen, we won 14. We won 12 out of 14 games. We done pissed off a lot of people in this league, so you know they aiming for us. Hey, let's bounce back, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, son. This is the one I want because they ended the streak on us, and Chris Paul then went nuclear the last 3 minutes of the game. I want this one, son. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want this one bad. I think we're gonna bounce back all season. Son, we talked about it all season. This team has bounced back. Every time we thought, "Dang, here we go, son, I'm about to start." Nah, this team bounced back. I think they're gonna be ready. I hope everybody ready here because that's a 10 o'clock game, baby. And
yeah, man,
it's gonna be one of those long haul ones, y'all.
Yeah, I know,
it's gonna be,
bro.
I gotta rush home.
It's funny. I remember back when we was like on Whereby. Man, when I tell you that 6 game, I think it was like during January when they always host the Grammys in the Madison Square Garden, and we got going on 6 game road trip. Man, them junks used to be crazy, yo. You used to be all here till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
I know, man.
Still booming.
I know, man. It's gonna be some rough ones. It's gonna be some rough ones the next couple of games, and that's also been happening, right? They start off 8 o'clock games, couple of 8 o'clock games. Now they jump over and they do 9 o'clock games. You know what I'm saying? That's why these West Coast trips are so tough. That's why these West Coast trips are so tough, and vice versa. West Coast coming to East Coast. You know what I mean? Everything just your body got to get used to it. Switches up. But yeah, we're gonna be struggling. We're gonna be struggling in that game. Anyway, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
We're gonna be sleeping, but it's okay. We're gonna make it.
Right. I appreciate you all. Please make sure you follow me on Twitter. I started just tonight using the Twitter Spaces for about 30 minutes before the game, just kind of talking about doing a little game preview, and talking, and we'll have some people from Twitter jump on there with me. So follow me on Twitter. I put the link in the chat. So if you have Twitter, you can follow me and join me. And I'll do some other things from time to time with the Twitter Spaces as well, as soon as I get used to it, kind of figure it out. Join me there, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here. I appreciate you. And it's looking like I will definitely be doing a shoot around tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we got some topics to discuss. Out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful. Go get some rest. Get up for work. Don't be late for work in the morning. Or there might be some people out there driving truck and doing some things like that, following along and listening to us, as they're working overnight shifts. Wish I could stay on longer with you, but I gotta get off. Blowing Tears is probably on, so go check them out. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.